St. George's Episcopal Mission for Colored Peoples was organized by St. Albans Episcopal Church in 1899 in a row house in Reno City. The congregation acquired land next to the Reno School site in 1903 and built a frame church in the developing Tinleytown section of Washington, D.C. However, due to population shifts, migration, gentrification, and common practices of the Jim Crow era, the St. George's Chapel that was officially established from the mission in 1903 was forced to leave Tinleytown in 1929. With the leadership of Miss Sally Perry and the support of then Bishop James E. Freeman of the Diocese of Washington, the St. George's Chapel was reestablished in a rented first-floor apartment at 85 R Street, where the first service was held on January 12, 1930. The Reverend Adolphus A. Birch arrived May 4, 1930, as the first vicar of the St. George's Chapel in the LeDroit Park location on R Street. In 1934, when the white congregation of the Church of the Advent decided to close, they agreed to transfer their property to the diocese for $15,000, which St. George's raised and paid. The diocese granted St. George's the use of the building, and Father Birch held the first service there on January 18, 1935, and the little church on the corner was established.
I started on this journey. Seemed like a long time ago. I thought it would be easy.
I grew up in the church here, and always loved it. We were in the junior choir, which was a big thing I was scared to death, because I was little, and we were just starting out, They had just invented, at least reinvented the junior choir. And so it's because my grandfather headed the music department. We couldn't say no, because we tried to, and we couldn't say no. But, as I was telling you and someone earlier, that Sunday school, you could go and then you didn't really have to go. So there were times where we would just skip out and roam the neighborhood.
So my parents were married here at St. George's. And this is the invitation to their wedding. And they took up residence with my grandmother, who was living by herself. So my first 3 years of existence were literally right around the corner here from St. George's. And I remember making my way around here.
I think St. George's feels your support. And we feel special because, since you've been the Bishop of Washington, you visited us a few times. I don't know if you can say it or not. Have you visited us more than any other historic?
More than any other church. I come to say, you are my favorite church. No, I've been bishop long enough that I've been to every church quite a number of times. Now, I do love St. George's. I do genuinely love St. George's. I love the people.
I'm not quite sure how she came to St. George's, but I believe it was based on my aunt, Marie Louise Smallwood, who knew St. George's, who was attending St. George's, who was a singer at the time, breaking into her profession, trying to break into her profession, I should say. And she brought my mother to St. George's because my mother was at St. Mary's originally. And Aunt Mickey is who I called her, Marie Louise Smallwood, was the Christian education instructor here, or church school instructor here. And I was looking through an old program. She also sang on one of the programs. She sang the Our Father, but that's how my mother got here. Now, my father had to attend at least one service because I came across a card that said he was confirmed in the Episcopal Church by Bishop Creighton, and that was in 1947, and that shocked me to no end when I found that out because my father was not a churchgoer. But my mother attended here on a very regular basis.
I just love this church, and I love the people in it. They exude love, they exude concern for the community, and it's been a wonderful place to grow up and to enjoy my adult life.
You know how sometimes when you're younger you get away from church a little bit, which is what I did. But then I started, because Tanya and Kevin were involved here in a lot of activities here at the church, I said maybe I should check St. George's out to be here because they're here. And that's what I did. And as I said, when I got here, people really welcomed me. I remember Mr. Smith, who was an usher, was so nice. And Helen Robinson, they were so open to me and friendly. So that's why I said I would try to give St. George's a chance.
He was an Episcopalian. I mentioned I was Episcopalian, and he asked, "Oh, have you been to the church around the corner?" I was at Slow Hall. Never.
Oh, wow.
So I never knew about the church around the corner. And I said, "No, I haven't been." He said, "Oh, well, I would like for you to come with me one Sunday." And so that started the history with St. George's in 1975.
If you think about how the African American church started, we were put out of a white Episcopal church, if I recall. I think there was a church in Georgetown, if I remember the history correctly, and I think black people decided to start their own church. I may have the history wrong. But I think that when you're coming together because you feel disenfranchised, that already sets a foundation for you to want to worship together and build and pray together in fellowship.
For a good part of the history of black Episcopalians, the Episcopal Church, black Episcopal Church, was the only church you could go to. All right, now integration has come along. And so people can choose to, go where they want to go. Because if you think about it, I'm thinking about people who passed 2, 3, 4, 5 churches to get here. So it's got to be something here that makes people, want to do that. And I think every church has to discern and decide what that's going to, what's that going to be. What is the future? Only God knows that. You find many black churches that are in gentrifying neighborhoods. And the fact of the matter is that black folk will go to predominantly white churches. And that's because we've always seen ourselves as a minority. The reverse is not true. The reverse is not true. White folk can't handle being minorities. I had, I mentioned one seminarian, white seminarian, was Stephanie R. Parker, who was from Brunswick, Georgia. And she decided to do a field work here. And she said it didn't dawn on her until after a couple of times that she worshiped here that this was a black church. You know, until she looked around. And these were black people, you know, who were carrying on Episcopal worship. Nobody was threatening her, you know. So she felt comfortable here, you know. That's an issue that's going to have to be addressed. And, you know, how do you get white folk not to feel so scary and so fragile about whether or not something's going to happen to them? You know, it's like I said in an interview I did for Virginia Theological Seminary. You know, the wafer's the same. The wine is the same, right? You know, now you can talk about good preaching is good preaching, bad preaching is bad preaching. I don't care whether you're black or white, you know. But, well, as I used to, there were people here at St. George's who were concerned about the neighborhood changing. And as I told them, this will always be an historically black church. That's in the DNA of St. George's. That's never going to change. That's how the church got started.
Dr. Martin Luther King said, Sunday is the most segregated hour in the week. And we have a few whites that come to our church, but it ain't many, you know, and probably most of this neighborhood is probably, you know, it's very diverse, but it's, you know, it may have tipped over 50% and nobody comes here. But I think a lot of churches are suffering right now, all over.
The neighborhood is changing in DC and has been changing for the last, 20 years. I was recently in DC and really see how a lot of that gentrification now is complete, right? Mm-hmm. I was dropping off my son, as I said, and I saw how a lot of the row houses, DC row houses behind Howard University are now lots of different races of folks, which that was not true when James, when you and I were there. So I think ultimately Jesus' message is to proclaim to whomever is in close proximity. And so then our tradition and our heritage becomes something we build on, but it doesn't make us exclusive. It's a strength, right? It's a strength.
How do you think your parents would feel about the fact that you have continued to carry on their legacy at St. George's and in the Washington, D.C. area?
I think they're proud. I still talk to them. So we haven't talked about that, but I know Daddy's proud because he came here as a youngster and stayed. He stayed all the way till he was funeralized here. So he started as a youngster as on the altar and stayed till he was funeralized. And my mother joined when they were married, and she stayed. And she loved being a member of St. George's, and I'm sure they would both be very proud and happy to know that our history is being recorded somewhere. And I have a whole list of people in our family who were either baptized, confirmed, married, or funeralized here at St. George's from our family. And I couldn't believe it until I wrote it down. And more names started coming out and more people. And I called a couple people so I could make this list. And we have a long, strong history here. I didn't realize it wasn't back to great-grandparents, but from my parents on, that's where it started, and it's still going.
The main thing I want to convey, which I probably have done, but just the support, the foundation, the love, the privilege to be at St. George's, you know? I just want to convey how special that has been to me, how much I've missed it, not being able to come to church because of work, how much I've missed it because of the pandemic, how much I've missed it just because I couldn't make it, and I really wished I could have, and it's been, St. George's has been the best. I love it. It'll always have a place in my heart. Always, 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 always.
I grew up in Fort Washington, Maryland. I commuted 35 to 45 minutes every Sunday to come here. And the Sundays that I was in Baltimore, it was an hour and 15 minutes, just because you want that experience.
I've really enjoyed my time here at St. George's. It's gone very fast. It's hard to believe I came here in 2003. Another beautiful thing, my kids were actually baptized here, so I got to actually see them being baptized, and all three of them. And that was probably one of the greatest events that I really enjoyed here at St. George's, having all my family here and watching them get baptized.
You preferred St. George's?
Huh?
You preferred St. George's?
Yes.
And then you never stopped coming then?
Never look back.
Never looked back.
righteousness, Jesus, perfect in all thy ways.